Hi, everybody. This is Finance and Investing, just Joey style. And first off, it's Christmas Eve. So, Merry Christmas to everybody. I hope you get time to spend with your friends and your family and your loved ones. And you cherish those moments. It's not about the gift, it's not about what you get. It's about spending the time that we have with the people that are around us that love us the most and that we love. So, anyhow, now let's get to some content. I want to talk to you about ownership. I want to talk to you about why ownership is so important, why accumulating things over time is better than trading. Now, trading has its advantages, but long term ownership is extremely important and it's simple. Most people don't have or don't want to trade. You have a lot of more chances of making huge mistakes or more mistakes in trading than you do investing. Um, the hardest part about investing is simply just finding the assets to invest in. So it's research and conviction. So once you research something, you have the conviction to hold on to it for a long period of time, and that's where the wealth is built. So I'm going to show you a quick example of what ownership does for you, and then I'm going to show you something in my crypto account as to I'm going to back it up with what I've seen. Now you're going to maybe make fun of this a little bit. I don't have a lot of artistic ability, but that's okay. It gets the point across. And it's simple, and that's what most people need and want is simplicity. So I'm gonna come over here to my whiteboard. All right, you're gonna be like, "What the heck is all this?" This is ownership. This word right here, very important, and then this word amplifies it, and I'm gonna show you why. Very small example. So this is the ownership that you have. You have one. You own one thing. Maybe that's a stock, maybe that's a crypto, maybe that's a building, whatever, and it's worth $10. So you have one, it's worth $10. So you have $10. Pretty simple, right? Yeah. Now, ownership, you have 20 of something that are worth $10 a piece. So your overall value is $200. Okay. Pretty simple. Yeah, Joey, I get that. All right. Now I'm going to show you what growth does when you have more ownership. I'm show you the importance of ownership combined with growth and time. So that one asset that you have, over time, maybe it was 5 years, 10 years, 20 years, I don't know. This asset has grown in value and it's worth 5 times more than it was when we first bought it. So now it's worth $50. Okay. So you own one, it's worth $50. Now you have $50 of ownership of value instead of 10. And you made $40 more than you had, right? Pretty simple. Now, with the ownership that we had more of, we had 20. And now those are worth $50 a piece. Our overall value is now $1,000 instead of $50, and we have $800 in gains instead of just $40 in gains. Why? Simple. Ownership. The more ownership that you have, the more it amplifies the wealth that you have later on in life, the more growth, that you get. That's as simply as I could explain this. So now let's go to my crypto account. Okay, this is my XRP. We're gonna go to Cardano. So this is something I was actually buying back here, 2020 into 2021, and I was talking about. I went to lunch with a friend, and they were asking me about the asset. I said, "I love this asset," and then it went and freaking exploded. But here are the parts of time that nobody wants these assets. They don't want to buy them. They don't want to accumulate them. They don't want to have them because the price isn't doing anything. They're like, this asset sucks. It's basically flat. These are the times that everybody gets excited about. And yes, they are exciting times when something grows in value a lot, somewhat quickly. and then it comes back down here and everybody's all down and depressed again. I'm going to show you a slightly better example because XRP is better for this particular example. But anyhow, I wasn't buying XRP back then. I was buying Cardano. So just like our example here with ownership and having way more wealth because we owned more assets, what if we owned more than 20? Or at some point we owned 21 and 22. Then a month later we owned 23. You get it. The more assets you own, the more the value goes up by the amount it's worth now. So as these projects, companies, stock, crypto, blockchain, assets, commodities, protocols, whatever you're invested into grow over time because they're providing more value to the world or a country or a business or whatever, they're going to grow in value. So these periods of time, this is the part of investing that people don't understand and they don't see. It's mindset. So when these assets are super low, look, XRP was a penny and it was there for 3 years. For 3 years, you could have bought this for less than a penny, and then it freaking went crazy. For a very short amount of time, it went to 3 or 4, almost $4. That's nuts. But and then it fell down here. So people only see these euphoric times in making money. But see how quick that was? Very quick. It's these times the asset fell and it's higher than it was here. So it was worth more for a long period of time. You could acquire this asset for 40, 30, and 20 cents for a 2-year period. And then another euphoric time. And then again, you could acquire this asset for 40, 50 cents for a 2-year period of time. And then boom. Now look at this. This isn't just a spike for a couple of weeks. This has been holding basically over $2 for an entire year. So the asset is starting to get more and more value, and it's starting to sustain that value. So over time, just like here, the more ownership that you have, the more assets that you own, and the more that you acquire over time, the more your wealth starts to build. I know that's starting to get a little bit jumbled up mess, but so this is the part about investing and wealth building that people don't get. It's about ownership. And the more assets that you own over time as they grow, the more value you're going to have. Now, yes, if you start buying something up here and it comes down here, you have less money. But the point is to get into assets that are going to improve over time. And sometimes that takes a year or 2 or 3. But there's a blessing of being able to acquire ownership at a much cheaper price and then having a whole bunch more as the price sustains higher. So this is finance and investing just Joey style, and that's how ownership works. I see I have over 4,000. 3,000 are my long-term shares. I will never sell 3,000 of them. They are my ownership, and over the next 2, 5, 10, 20 years of owning this asset, and the price goes up significantly higher than it is because it's being more valued in the world, the more ownership, or I'm sorry, the more wealth that I accumulate. And even though I've acquired my full position, I'm still buying a small drip, $5 every single week, acquiring more assets because I like the price of this and I like the asset overall. And eventually, when it gets to a certain price point, I can sell off my tradable shares or I can decide to keep them if I like the asset for ownership. And then I also do this with every one of my cryptos. HBAR, I want to get to 20,000. I haven't got to my full position yet. Bitcoin, I want to get to 0.10. I actually don't have a cap of Bitcoin. Stellar, 10,000. Our Cardano is 2,000. And as you can see, I've got the amount that I want, and I'm still putting a small $1 every week drip on it, buying more assets for more ownership. Even though I've acquired how much I want of this asset, I like the price, I like the asset, and I still think it's going to grow over time. Plus, crypto's dropped off a lot, so I'm buying things, getting my cost basis down. Ethereum, I want to get to 5. I actually sold some Ethereum but put it in BMNR because I believe the largest Ethereum treasury company is going to outperform the asset itself. Chainlink, I want to get to 250. Ondo, I've upped it to 2,000. It was 1,000. Now things have changed with it. I believe there's more value coming into this in the future, so I want to get to at least 2,000 Ondo. It might even change to 3,000 later on because tokenization is going to be big. I want to get to 1,000 Sui. I'd like to get to at least 100 Solana, and I just started buying Solana. I think it was last month. Yeah, I just started buying this on November 12th. $2.50 a day. And then every now and again, I've put in a small amount of extra if I have it. But mostly it's just been my $2.50 a day drip. And then look at this. Every 5 days, I'm getting a reward of somewhere between like 5 to 8 cents. Now, 5 to 8 cents doesn't sound like a lot, but that's every 5 days. Think about, I only have $150 in this. 180, 190. I have $190 in this. Think about $190 being in your bank account. Are you getting paid 5 cents every 5 days? No. You might be getting paid 1 or 2 cents a year on this, maybe. So not only am I getting more money every 5 days, I'm actually not getting dollars. I'm getting assets. I'm getting more Solana. Even though it tells me what it was worth in dollars, like here, it was worth 7 cents. The thing is, it's the amount of Solana that I got. That is the important thing. 0005. I'm acquiring more assets just from staking them while I'm holding on to them, acquiring more ownership over time. This is like a dividend. And then when we come back here, ownership gives you way more overall wealth over time. So this is how you build an account. This is how you build an account over time. And this is why ownership is extremely important. And then coupled that with growth, it amplifies your wealth building. And this is how the rich people do it. They don't sell their wealth off. They don't sell their assets. They keep acquiring them. Now, sometimes they're selling for trades and whatnot. And trading's okay occasionally, but long-term investing is better. It's less stressful. And when you put something on a slow drip, I think, what do I have? There's one here that I have just like $1 every day going into it. I think Chainlink. Yeah, I have $1 going in every day in a Chainlink. $1 every day is not a lot of money. But this is acquiring me more and more ownership into an asset that I want to hold long term. And look, it's been a pretty good asset to hold. This thing was pennies. 20, 30 cents, and now it's $12. It's been as much as 50. Anyhow, that's how ownership works. That's why it's very important to acquire ownership over a long period of time and not sell your assets off. And that's how wealth is built. And if you're not doing that, you're stupid because, and I can call you stupid because guess what? I didn't do this either. As you can see, this is what has taken me years to figure out that ownership is the most important thing. So I was stupid. And I'm not stupid anymore. So I'm acquiring ownership. And over the next 2 to 5 years, you're really going to see this account grow and you're going to see why ownership is super important. And there's not very many people out there on YouTube that are telling you the different things to do. And they're not very many people aren't telling you the mistakes that they made. I've sold off my assets numerous times because I'm like, oh, look how much money I made because it went up in the short term. But I destroyed my long term wealth building by selling off my assets. Don't sell your assets, especially your good ones. And that's why diversification is important, because we don't know which ones are going to do the best. So that's why I researched. That's why I have 12 crypto and I have 7 stocks. I know that they're going to do well in the future. I don't know which ones are going to do the best. And maybe there's 1 or 2 of them that don't really work out. So the other ones will. Or maybe there's 5 of them that don't work out and the other, whatever, 17 do. Focus on ownership, building wealth, put it in the background of your life, set it and forget it, and put small amounts of money into it that does not affect your day to day, month to month budget or spending plan. That's how you build wealth. This is Finance and Investing Just Joey style. Merry Christmas.